by side to live side by side to live side by side
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Check that out. That's looking really good.
Do you need any help?
It's Tech Week. It's Tech Week. Everyone's tired. Everyone's got a headache. Everyone is over their jobs. So check this out. We are in the middle of a tech rehearsal. This is the set.
Did we rip those things out? I can't tell. I'm trying. It doesn't look like you ripped. I mean, unless you completely sheared it, in which case there's a live circuit on the floor.
So, fun fact, for those of you who aren't in theater, what will usually happen during Tech Week is the light board will be brought down to the deck level. For us, we're in our black box theater. The lighting designer will bring his board downstairs so that he can sit down where the audience sits and see what the lights will look like from the deck. Sometimes sound designers will do this as well, which is what I have done. This is my setup currently. I am running Ableton Live for this show. I'm using a launch pad to launch my sound effects. And then after Tech Week, after everything is done in sound design and light design and everything, all of this stuff will move up into the tech booth, and then everything will run from there. That's how it'll run through the show. But it's easier for people on the production team to see it from the audience's perspective. That's the important part. That's Meg. She's the costume shop designer. Meg designed the costumes for this show. They're really good. I'll be doing a separate video entirely on my sound design for Ableton for this show. We're going through my Ableton session, how I'm launching my clips, how I'm using my launch pad and everything, so expect that soon.
Just real quick, can you run it?
Yeah, sure.
Ready? And go. It'll be fading about now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that fade takes about a second. It's tech booth day. It's tech booth day. It's the day we move into the tech booth.
Yes, tonight's opening night for Smoky Joe's, isn't it?
Tonight's our second preview.
Oh, second preview, okay.
All right, Rob, go into settings and fix that, because that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Hey, Rob, you should go into settings and fix that.
Spacebar on the keyboard is configured as a go.
Thank you, places.
Word up.
Yes, sir.
That song's really low now. I can barely hear it.
Let me make an adjustment.
Mind if I set a spell?
It's preview night. It's a night that we do a preview. Basically, the long and short of it is, this is an open rehearsal, and people are allowed to come to it if they would like to. Tickets are free, mostly because it's under the knowledge that the rehearsal could stop at some point. It's rare that it does, but it is possible. So this is Robert. Tell me what a lighting designer does.
Oh, that's a big question. Not screw the show up. No.
Yes.
Really what we're in charge of doing is creating or enhancing the visual environment that the actors live in, along with the set designer and the costume designer. We sort of dot the I's and cross the T's of the visual world that the play lives in. So we, when it's supposed to be night, we try and make it look like night. When it's supposed to be day, we try and make it look like it's supposed to be day.
So the lighting designer usually comes in before the show, works during the tech week, and then usually skips out like the director does as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are complete mercenaries. But we show up. We like to be involved as early as we can, but the reality is we show up pretty late in the process. We come in, we watch rehearsals. We may make adjustments to plots. A lot of times we're plotting before we've seen the show based on the technical aspects of the space. We come in, we focus our lights, we write our light cues, we run some rehearsals, and then we hop on the plane and go on home, hand it off to the stage manager.
So, this is Mike.
Hi.
Mike, tell me what a stage manager does.
Well, the stage manager, basically when the rehearsals are over, the director hands the reins over to me. And I'm basically in charge of the show now. I've got to make sure that the continuity stays the same, the actors are doing exactly what the director has asked them to do. I make sure all props are in place, and generally just make sure the show stays exactly the way the director wants it.
Right. Because usually the director is out after the show.
Yes. Well, once the show is open, we won't see the director again. He might drop in once or twice, but other than that, the show basically becomes my show.
Right. Yep. Mike is in charge of calling some sound cues. He's in charge of moving lights from one cue to the next so that each scene gets lit properly through the light board. He's the boss for the show. If anyone screws up, he's the one who yells at us.
That's right.
So this is Peter. Peter, tell me about what a director does in the theater.
Well, a director is the lens, if you will. All the other artists who are contributing, you, for instance, the actors, the costumer, everybody, all these artists are exuding this great creative light. It's going in all directions, and it's the director's job, I think, to take that light and make a laser beam out of it. Coherent light, if you will,
right.
and so that the message of the playwright just gets out in the cleanest possible, clearest way to the audience. I think that's what the director's ultimate job is.
Right. It's been so cool to work on the show because like I told you earlier, this is my first time sound designing a play. I've done sound design for a lot of other things, but like doing sound design where people are in the audience and they're part of their experience is dependent on how the sound is hitting their ears, not so much as just what the sound content is. That's been really interesting, and to work with a director who can help me get there has been really cool.
Well, it's you chose a really hard project for your first one.
Well, I did it on purpose. I wanted to have a challenge of a play that not only would just be like, okay, well, here's a sound effect here and a sound effect here. I wanted something that would be a continuous, almost like a scoring of a movie scene or something like that.
Correct, and that's always a danger in the theater. Most directors don't like to do that, but this is a play that has a great danger to it, and that is you have to create a bed, I think, of sound which goes through the entire play. And that can be distracting for an audience. It can be distracting for an audience of older people like we have here in Venice who have,
hearing aids.
Hearing aids, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a little uncommon to do continuous sound for a theater show, especially in a black box theater like this, and with such a small, the cast members aren't mic'd, something like that. It's not the most common thing to do, and there is a danger in distracting the audience. It's finding the threshold of making them feel immersed in their environment without being distracted.
Correct.
It's lengthy tech week. We open tomorrow. Break all of your legs. Opening night went very well. the playwright was here in the audience. Got to do a question and answer thing with her, which was super cool. And that's it. Pretty easy, right?